So here we got some leaks happening.
Yeah.
Some leaks.
Lots
leaks.
and lots of leaks.
Leaks. All right, where do I start? Where do I go first?
Not the
Leaks.
water leaks. The running of the mouth leaks.
Oh, I thought we had water leaks. I was here ready to fix some plumbing. Well, who's leaking shit out of their mouth?
Oh, lots of people.
What the heck? Don't need that, man.
Now, okay, leaks have been part of the system forever. People do it. There was actually a case here in Canada. A vice admiral released some information to the press to help convince the federal government to not squelch on their promises to actually spend money on the military. Well, he got in trouble and he's been arrested and charged. In the States, leaks are everywhere, like everywhere. And the American, there are two American governments going on, and I use quotes there, going on right now. There's the Trump government, and then there's the resistance. Now, celebrities and politicians are saying, resist, 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 we have to resist Trump. And because a lot of them are leftovers from the Obama administration, they are making Trump's life hell. Now, we'll just go right off the bat and tell you two of the worst ones, in my opinion, that the American government could have done. There was a bombing in Manchester, 22 people killed, many of them children, and the New York Times actually printed the crime scene photos from it, as well as photos from the bomb pieces, and the name of the bomber before British intelligence released the information to the public. And it is assumed that somebody in the American intelligence service leaked the information to the press, and it wasn't supposed to have been leaked.
Do you think that if we just, you know how like terrorists, this may sound weird, I don't know, but if we like didn't give terrorist attacks as much attention as we give them, would they get worse or would they just go away? They would probably get worse,
yeah.
Because then they would do worse things to
because
get attention.
What it is, it's a sign of weakness. Because they show, whenever you start to shut up and self-censor, it is a show of, we're doing the right thing. Like the terrorists are thinking, if we keep doing this, they're going to shut up, they're going to stop talking, and they're going to bow before us soon. Whereas if we make a ruckus, a noise, and fight against it, that's, we have to fight against it. It's not something where you can just roll over and play dead.
No, like, I'm not saying, like, don't fight against it, but don't give it as much mainstream media attention as we are. We still obviously have to fight against it, but,
it's one of those, it's a hard line. It is one of those difficult lines to blur, because it's like, well, how much is too much and how much is too little, right? Because of the 24-hour news cycle that we happen to have,
it's so prevalent, and they got to talk about
they have to talk about something, so we're
they just
inundated
hash
with
to
news and news and news and news, and it's like,
this whole leak thing sounds just like it's almost like a temper tantrum.
It is.
It's like, you're not doing what I want, so I'm going to tell somebody something about you, so you have to do what I want. And it's
leaks have always been a part of the system. Journalists are supposed to get in there and get whatever news they can get. And
they get inside information, and they get informants, and they get people who give them stories and give them so they can be at the top of their news game. I get that.
Yeah. And I understand that. But it's one of those things of right now, because the U.S. government records audio conversations between all high members of government, like Trump when he was talking, he was talking with Russian people, and they recorded the information, and that information was leaked to the press, and it's not supposed to. Would that have happened under Obama, right? That type of thing.
Probably.
Well, that's the thing.
Like, maybe it's happened for how long?
No, you're right. Watergate.
It's just a bigger thing because of the president that we have. They have.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
exactly.
we have. It's because of the guy that's running in the U.S. right now.
And that's what it is.
A lot of more people hate him, and the
Yeah.
people who hate him.
So all these leaks, are designed to make him look bad, and it's like, well, no. A lot of these things happen to be secrets. Government secrets.
The same people who are who are yelling, "We got to stand up against Trump," were the same people who were telling the people who wanted to do that to Obama that they have to work with Obama because this is democracy, and they're kind of contradicting what they said to people about Obama with Trump, and it's kind of like the roles have flipped.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, okay, this is democracy. Shouldn't we all work together? But you're doing what?
But and here's the thing: like when Obama was elected and elected again, it's not like the Bush leftovers worked against him.
Yeah.
They realized, okay, my boss is a different person. He was from a different party, but he's still my boss. I have to do my job. What's going on right now is a lot of them are going, well, I don't like my new boss, so I'm going to do everything I can to make him look bad.
You know what happened in the private sector? You get fired.
Yeah.
You'll get your ass fired.
And in my opinion, this is exactly what happened to the FBI director. He was trying to play politics too much, and because he was playing politics, he got himself canned. Again, I'm not that knowledgeable about U.S. politics. If the president can't fire somebody, I think that's a bad thing. But obviously there has to be checks and balances, which there's supposed to be the Congress and Senate. So, he has to go through them or something. But he fired him. And I think the reason why is because he was playing politics. It's like, if all these things, if all this leaked stuff is coming from the FBI sources, well, there's something wrong.
Doesn't that show bad on your leadership if there's so much leaked stuff coming out of a, supposedly,
secret and confidential stuff?
And confidential, organization, and all this stuff is coming out? Don't you have a problem?
Yes.
You know what I mean? If I was the owner, I'd be like, hey, what are you guys doing? And I would go to the person who's in charge of this and be like, fix it, or you're not going to have a job.
No, and that's what... Because Trump is in Europe right now, and this thing happened with Manchester, Theresa May, the Prime Minister of England, actually talked to Trump and said, well, okay, maybe I'm paraphrasing, but what the fuck is going on? Why are these leaks happening? And Trump said, I don't know, but I'm going to try to fix it.
Yeah.
And he said so publicly. It's like, I want this to stop, and I'm going to do what I can. And I really hope he takes an axe and start just hacking away at things, because this I understand leaks happen, they're part of the game, but to leak intelligence, especially in something so serious as the Manchester bombing, maybe the New York Times should have went, okay, let's just wait a little bit.
Let's not publish this. Let's have some sensitivity.
Let's publish it 1
second
second after the British government says this is what's going on, and then you guys publish it, hit the send button on the email, and have everything show up instead of doing it early and making... Because, great, you're making your president look bad. Remember that. He is your president. He is the boss of your country. You may not like your boss, but you have to put up with him for the next, 3 years, 250 days or whatever.
Almost 4 years.
Yeah, almost 4 years. You have to deal with it.
I don't support. I don't support. But I don't support politicians.
Yes.
I'm 100% behind anything. I think they're. I take ideas from people, and I go, I like that idea. I don't. But does Trump do some things that I go, okay, well that makes sense. Does he?
Stupid
does he do stupid things?
Yes.
Yeah, of course he does. He
look at his Twitter account.
Yeah, and he blabs his mouth, but he talks like almost like a real person instead of a politician. When you got a politician and you go, God, you're just saying everything that you should be saying, and you got Trump, you're like, wow, you shouldn't be saying that, but I've heard people talk like that before.
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, you shouldn't be saying that. But at least I understand it.
Yeah.
Because politicians can
You listen to him and you go
for an hour
and
not say anything.
Yeah, it's the truth. It is totally the truth, and you know.
You know, I don't know about you guys, but like I've listened to Trump's speeches. Like no, actually we both did, but you know, his inaugural address to the Senate and the House. He talked for an hour, and he can speak. When he was speaking in Saudi Arabia, he actually put on a really, really good speech. He said, I listened to it. He said some things that you wouldn't say to Saudi Arabians, but he said them. You know, Obama would never have said anything like that.
No, because people are too worried
Hillary Clinton would never have said anything like that.
Most people are too worried about being politically correct.
Yeah.
Instead of saying what needs to be said.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like you watch this speech, but all you got from the mainstream media in the Middle East for Trump was him holding that globe thing with the Saudis.
The weirdest, most awkward photos.
I know. And the his wife swatting his hand away. Yeah. And it's just like, play his speech, quote his speech, like he said to the Saudis, this whole room full of Saudi...
Hey, news people. If you're married, have you ever had your wife reject holding your hand or anything? Yeah. Like, grow up. Like, I saw that, I go, who cares?
I saw that as like, well...
Yeah, I go, okay. So
I honestly don't know if that was a swat or just...
Even if it was, it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who gives a crap?
I think the
maybe they're having marital problems. Yeah, who knows?
I think the media has already established that, you know, they're saying it's like, Trump's wife, Melania.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's like, blink SOS if you need help. Blink SOS and we'll get you out. And it's like, we know why she married him.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
I'm sorry. If you think that there was... There might have been... they have to have something in common, because, like, there was another picture.
No, they don't. They don't have to spend any time together.
No, you're right.
Do they?
No. Heck, they might have only had sex once, because obviously they've had a kid.
Yeah.
So, but the rebel media showed an interesting picture. You know, they were saying it's like, she's... you can't really tell if she swatted the hand away. But at the Vatican, both of them were standing in one of the churches, but they were actually holding hands. And it looked, if that had been Obama and his wife, that picture would have been all over the media.
Well, of course, Obama's still all over the media.
Yeah, he still is.
Did Obama do good things? Of course he did. Of course he did.
You
know?
We'll disagree with that.
Who knows? I don't know. I don't live in the U.S. I live in Canada. Healthcare is free.
For that matter, I have no idea what kind of a deal Obamacare was. Yeah, honestly.
I live in Canada where healthcare is free. Where
mostly free.
Well, it should be free for everybody in the world, in my opinion, anyways. Like, fuck. It's not that bad of a thing, anyways. That's, a whole topic for a different day.
It is. So... It's interesting that people are like, leaks.
This whole world reminds me, remember that telephone game when you were in grade school that you used to play?
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? I have a whole new respect for that game. They were teaching us that everything you hear is a lie in, like, grade school. And now I'm looking back going, God.
What a subtle way of teaching us. Yeah.
Because you remember that game. The dog ran across the street. The story starts. By the time it gets back to you, it's like the hippopotamus was eating truffles and drinking wine, and you're like, what?
That's not how I started the story.
That's not how I started the story, and that's how it happens in the world today. Ladies and gentlemen, they were giving us 101 in media.
Yeah, no,
right there true. And then.
Congratulations, teachers. You're still teaching us after all this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the telephone game.
Yes.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave us a like. The dog ran across the street to get milk. Is the starting of the story. Let's see where it goes.
See you tomorrow.
I always think about that. Whenever I see weird news stories, I always just think,